recognition, and I think that that shows that what we're doing really is helping in the community. So without further ado, I would like for Mr. Hammond-Beyer to come up to show you exactly how much our donation from Junior League meant and the valuable that it was for the community.
Thank you so much. My name is Carl Hammond-Beyer, and I'm at Davidson Fine Arts, and I brought with me Emily Calhoun. She was my assistant last year as we sampled the water quality in the canal. And thank you for your funding. We did a baseline study, basically, to try and determine if the canal would support trout. And so I'll let Emily kind of tell you a little bit about the data, and I'll give you an update as to where we are at this point in time.
Hey y'all. So since summer of 2012, Mr. HB and I, along with a few other students, have gone out about once a week, and what we do is we stop at 3 sites, which are at the Savannah River Headgate, Lake Olmsted, and over by Fat Man's Cafe for the canal down school. And what we do is we would measure the temperature, the pH, the conductivity, and most importantly, the dissolved oxygen that, of course, fish have to breathe. The Junior League grant helped a lot with paying for the dissolved oxygen kits we needed, which are not really provided by school budgets very much. And so what we did was we tried to figure out if chemically the water would be able to sustain trout, and we decided that it was. So our next phase of the project was to see whether or not there was enough food supply in the canal. And so what we began to do was split the canal along with our friend who had a really big boat, and we would take dredges and kick seines and measure per square foot how many bugs were there, and there are so many invertebrates in the canal. It's really, really fascinating. There are shrimp. I didn't know there were shrimp in the canal, but there are. And there are so many different mayflies, caddisflies, dragonflies, all sorts of things. And so here's some pictures of the dissolved oxygen process, which is basically what you have to do is take the water and fix it so that with sulfuric acid and then you titrate it after adding iodine so you can see how much is in there. And right now we actually have some trout in the canal, so that's exciting. They live in 50-gallon tubs, well, barrels really, and we go out and feed them every day. And we want trout because it has a great impact on the community because everybody likes fish. Fish tastes good.
Okay, so where we are now is, and I put this out for you as a group to ponder. Warren Road Elementary School got a grant to do what's called a habitat, where they have a raceway and they have raised eggs and they hatched out as baby trout, as fingerling. And then, so all the elementary school children got to watch them hatch, and then they were swimming around with big yolk sac bellies, and then they slowly dissolved that, and then they got to be more mobile, and now they're swim up fry. And so we took them from Warren Road, and students at Davidson designed a couple of different 55-gallon drums to put the trout in. We put them in the canal, and we kept them there over the summer so that they wouldn't just be bass and brim fodder. If we put little itty-bitty trout in the canal, all the bluegill would just eat them very, very quickly. So now they are about 5 inches, almost 6 inches long, and we had a few pitfalls. We started out with lots of trout, and we have some trout left. They like to eat each other. We had a little problem with when the rains, we've had such a wet summer, it kicked off, it caused one of our fuses to trip, and there wasn't very much oxygen in the canal at the time, and so some of them had a little problem with getting enough air to breathe. So we lost some there, and but it's been a learning experience. So now this year the students are going to design some kind of habitat or raceway where we take the small trout and put them in this raceway. And so the students have to design it and then build it. And it's part of a Georgia Tech program for innovation. And so we'll see how they do with that. So at the end of this year, we'll have another 10,000 eggs or trout that will be ready to put into the canal. And so if there are other elementary schools out there that might be interested, you know, give them encouragement to get involved in this, because we can take their fry and raise them to a big enough size. Where we would like to go with this is have a sustaining trout population. There are lots of other phases. You know, we did phase 1, and thank you for the water chemistry. Phase 2 is, can the trout survive the summer? And they did. The water temperature is close. We need a little help from the core to give us a little more dissolved oxygen. And I know the data is a little bit small and hard to see at this point, but it's there. The trout can survive in the canal. We need to now modify the habitat. So we need to put some rocks in the canal in the right places so the trout have a place to hide. So we need to get community involvement in organization and engineering to do that. And then we should have, over time, you know, if we keep feeding in from elementary schools, we want it to be not the state coming in and dumping a bunch of fish and going away. We'd like it to be a community involvement project where the kids have some investment as students watching the trout hatch and then coming down and seeing the trout grow. And then even if they go and catch some and, you know, take some home to eat, but be reasonable and sustainable about it rather than just catch them all out and run away. Okay? So all of the, I won't bore you with all the data, but we did dissolved oxygen and pH, and if you want the science and some of the math that goes behind this, certainly feel free to email me, and I will send you all kinds of numbers if you'd like to crunch that stuff. But we really, really appreciate it. So last year, you guys, we got dissolved oxygen kits. There's some new technology. We like to stay abreast with technology, so we applied again this year for one of those brand new probes that's, you know, really, really expensive and will make it sampling so much faster and more accurate and easier. So thank you for your support.